So, lads, another day, another video. And this one's about Ben Simmons. And there's so many all these like trade rumors. Oh, we need to get Ben Simmons to Golden State. We need to do this, that, this, the third. Am I the only one that thinks that Ben Simmons just doesn't help out a team in the NBA? That like there are no teams in the NBA that he's worth the stress. There are definitely teams that get better with the addition of Ben Simmons. However, there's no correlation between where Ben Simmons wants to go and a team that gets better. And I'm going to explain a little bit about Golden State. I'm going to explain a little bit about Golden State and why I think he doesn't, in fact, put them any closer to winning a championship. But again, this is my opinion. I could be wrong. You just never know. And if you don't agree with it, that is perfectly fine. I'm going to give an opinion. I'm going to give reasons why my opinion is like it is. And if you don't agree, that is perfectly fine. At the end of the day, I'm not some basketball expert. And even people that claim to be basketball experts, they're just basically doing the same thing as I'm doing. They're giving an opinion. Some of them have reasons. Others don't. And that's the thing. That's the thing with all basketball media right now. Is most of the time it is just people talking about how they feel about things, and that is exactly what I'm doing. So, Ben Simmons. We're getting conflicting reports every single day. So first of all, it was the Sixers are trying to trade him, but only for a great package. Then it was, the Sixers are going to keep him. And now we're seeing things out here from SB Nation. We're seeing Sixers and Ben Simmons have reached the point of no return. Okay, maybe this is inevitable, yada, yada, yada. Doc Rivers doesn't know if he can win a championship with Ben Simmons. So, we all assumed that Ben Simmons was probably going to be gone. But, Ben Simmons is also, just aired his team. Whatever about airing your team. Whatever about airing your, the GM, the front office. Oh, yeah, they want to trade you. Whatever about airing them. First of all, they're paying, $30 million a year. You should probably answer a phone call, but the fact that apparently he's not even answering phone calls from his teammates. His teammates are trying to call him. How the hell is he meant to step foot in Philadelphia? And as well as that, Ben Simmons off the floor does not help either. He does not help any of these teams. And I just want to say this right now. I have no problem with the whole, just personally, with the whole, Ben Simmons is a young socialite like Simmons wants to be in California. Because at the end of the day, if that's where he wants to be, that's where he wants to be. Even if it is for non-basketball reasons, if that's where he was dead set on being, and that's where he wants to be for his career, because he does want to be a young socialite, more power to him. But at the end of the day, that doesn't help a basketball team. And I think there's always a weird line and where people end up taking personal shots at someone because of a personal decision rather than looking at it from a personal perspective and a basketball perspective. From a personal perspective, if he wants to be a socialite, fair enough. If a team is willing to pay him max money and he's as committed to he enjoys being a socialite as much as he does being a basketball player, then more power to him. It's his life. He can do it. But if you're a team, why would anyone want that? Why would anyone want that? So, apparently, the rumor is the Sixers want to trade Ben Simmons and more to get Damian Lillard. If the Sixers can do this, they're the favorites to win the championship. Just a heads up. The Sixers can do this, but I don't think they can. I don't think they can for one reason. Ben Simmons says he doesn't want to go to Portland. He doesn't want to go there. Why would Portland make that trade? Portland can get a James Harden type haul for Damian Lillard. They can get a James Harden type haul. Why would they trade for a guy that doesn't want to be there? I'm pretty sure, I'm not necessarily sure if Simmons wants to or doesn't want to be in Philadelphia, but he sure as hell wants to be in Philadelphia a lot more than he wanted to be, or he sure as hell wanted to be in Philadelphia a lot more than he wants to be in Portland. And we've seen him in Philadelphia refusing to take shots, refusing to work on his game. What the hell do you think he's going to do in Portland? Sit there and sulk for a couple of years? This is the dumb... If the Portland Trail Blazers do this, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. You can get so much more for Lillard. You can rebuild and fleece another franchise's future. Obviously, right now, the Harden trade looks like the Nets fleece the Rockets. And if KD stays there for another couple of years, fair enough. But, like, if the Nets go and lose, say, next year, the Harden trade doesn't look bad then. Because if they lose next year and then decide, you know what, screw it, we can't win with these three, they trade a couple of their players, things go badly, and they're suddenly in 2 or 3 years a lottery team again, it looks like a great trade for Houston. But trading for Simmons does not help the Portland Trailblazers because, one, they become a 9th seed, a 9th, 10th barely play-in team. They're not even going to get a high enough draft pick with Simmons. And Simmons, again, he doesn't want to be there. You can get a way better haul for the future than Ben Simmons. I can't play offense. But again, as it says here, Ben Simmons prefers to join California teams over Raptors and Blazers. So who are the Cali teams? Who are the California teams? The Cali teams are the Lakers, the Clippers, the Golden State Warriors, the Sacramento Kings. First of all, I would love to see them chuck them to Sacramento. That would be funny to see Ben Simmons having to play for the Sacramento Kings. Like, he literally, and if he did it himself, he said, oh, I'm only going to Cali, and they sent him to Sacramento. That would be hilarious. But let's be real. He wants to go to the Clippers, the Lakers, and he really wants to go to the Warriors. So, the Lakers can't afford him. The Clippers can't afford him. The Golden State Warriors. Let me explain why Ben Simmons would be the worst fit for the Golden State Warriors. The worst fit for the Golden State Warriors. So, why were the Golden State Warriors so good? And don't say because they had more talent than everybody else, because 2015, 2016 Warriors, that is simply not the case. If you guys knew anything, like if you guys watched the 2016 Warriors, the 2016 Warriors without the unanimous MVP Steph Curry beat the Houston Rockets without Steph. The 2016 Warriors were incredible when Steph was off the floor. They used to rest Steph, and they were still as good as anybody. The 2015 Warriors balled out. A lot of games were won by their bench. And you might be saying, oh, they just had this incredibly great bench lineup. Sean Livingston was borderline out of the league when he signed for the Warriors. Like, yeah, he was pretty decent for the Nets, but he come off a bad year for Cleveland. He was like, he wasn't that sought after. Leandro Barbosa was 8 years off his best with Phoenix. He again, after playing for Boston, was nearly out of the league. You had Andre Iguodala come off the bench, obviously incredible player. Incredible player. And then you got the likes of Mo Spates. You have the likes of Festus Ezeli in that squad. That, yeah, they were okay players, but like, they're not guys that are going to carry you. The Warriors were so good because they were one of the, not only were they unbelievable, they had two unbelievable shooters. They had Draymond, who was one of the most versatile defenders in the NBA. They were one of the most disciplined teams I have ever seen. Every one of them knew their role. Every one of those guys went out every night and knew their role. They all played. They knew where they were meant to be on defense. That team should not have been one of the best defensive teams of all time. They should not have been. Clay is a good defender. Yeah. Harrison Barnes, Stephen Curry. But they all knew what to do. They all knew what to do. Barbosa knew coming off the bench, I'm going to shoot shots. Sean Livingston knew what spots to get into on the floor. They all played off each other. They were a legitimate team. And there's a key word that a lot of people don't associate with that Warriors team because they watch clips of, say, Steph Curry jacking up a few deep shots. And it's Steph Curry. You're kind of if you're Steph Curry, you're allowed to. Other than Steph Curry's shooting, shot selection, which I still think when you're shooting as well as he was last season, everything was a good shot. They were so disciplined. And they knew their roles and knew the system so well. The last thing you want in a team like that, because this isn't 2017, 2018 Warriors where they were just the most talented team ever. The Warriors team next year is going to be a little bit like the 2015 Warriors. 2016 Warriors, they just won and were coming into their own. But instead of the 2015 Warriors, where they were a little bit old, so where they were a little bit young and no one really thought they were going to make that extra step, now they're a little bit old. And they're trying to get back to that level. So I just put in a kind of similar situation. The last thing you need is someone who's equally as interested in being a socialite as a basketball player. He is a great player. Trust me, he's a great player. But the one spot, like one of the spots you don't want to be in is Golden State. Golden State, obviously, it's in the Bay Area. They got Steph Curry, who's a little bit of a flash player. But their style of play next year is, if they're going to succeed, it's probably going to have to resemble what the San Antonio Spurs looked like in terms of like their ball movement, in terms of their discipline. And Ben Simmons isn't someone you would want on a San Antonio Spurs type team. And trust me, you guys might think I'm crazy. Go and watch back that Warriors team and watch what happened. And don't watch the clips where Steph Curry just did Steph Curry. Like, Steph was just God in those 2 years. Watch everything Warriors did without Steph, and they were still one of the best teams in the NBA when Steph Curry was not on the floor. Watch everything they did and tell me that Ben Simmons fits into that. On the floor, yeah, he might fit. If this was NBA 2K and you put in a transfer and you swapped in these guys and put in an NBA 2K version of Ben Simmons, yeah, he would make the Golden State Warriors better. He doesn't make this team better. He doesn't. He might on the defensive end. In terms of pure basketball reasons, he might. But he's just not worth the stress, in my opinion. He's not worth it. Because he's a guy who clearly does not play well under pressure. He's a guy who clearly does not really want to get mentally better at basketball. Like, you can shoot 10,000 shots, but if you're scared to shoot in a game, it doesn't matter. If you're scared to shoot in practice when the cameras are there, you're going to be scared to shoot in a game, and that's the problem with Ben Simmons. And when you're with that Warriors team, heck, even Sean Livingston's a worse shooter than Ben Simmons. I'm just going to put it out there. He would let it fly occasionally. Draymond Green will at least let it fly, even though he's a bad shooter. But Ben just won't. So yeah, that's pretty much it, lads. Ben Simmons is a great basketball player. He obviously has a lot of other interests outside of basketball, which is fine. Which is perfectly fine for him. But at the end of the day, a team is trading for him to play basketball. A team is not going to trade for him. Like, the Golden State Warriors are not keeping up with the Kardashians. The Golden State Warriors really just want to win a championship. It's going to be basketball solely focused. Sole focus. And his focus is clearly on other things. And if his focus is not entirely on basketball, even with him on the roster, they're not winning anything. They're not winning anything. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think Ben Simmons, I have no hope for Ben Simmons really as a max level basketball player. I really don't. I really don't, because he's not a good enough player to not be 100% focused. He doesn't seem to be mentally in a good enough place to be an NBA star. Or mentally not in a good enough place, in the right place to be an NBA star. And he looked incredible as a rookie. He hasn't got any better. And everything that they said about him pre-draft seems to be right. Everything that I'm saying right now was said about Ben Simmons pre-draft. There was a reason that Australians did not like him before he was drafted in the NBA. There is a reason for that. Everything that is coming out now about him not really wanting to play basketball, about how he was more focused on other things other than it, was all said before he was drafted, which is crazy. And people killed the draft analyst that wrote all that. It was like, oh, you're just attacking the guy's character, you're attacking this, you're doing this, you're just attacking him for no reason. It all seems to be right. And it's all pointing to Ben Simmons being a supremely talented basketball player. He will end up on a team next year, whether it's the Sixers or someone else, hopefully not the Sixers. He will end up on a basketball team, and he'll have another good basketball year. The problem is that if you're a team like Golden State, who are looking to win it all, and the way Golden State play their system, he doesn't fit. He doesn't want to be in Portland. He doesn't want to be in Toronto. If he wanted to be in Portland, I make that, and on Portland, I make that trade 10 times out of 10 if he wants to be in Portland. If he wants to be in Toronto, if he was okay with being in Toronto, I would do whatever I could to get Ben Simmons. Because Ben Simmons, the basketball player, is great. However, he kind of doesn't want to be in a lot of places. And he not only, the music was turned off right there, sorry. He not only doesn't want to be in a lot of places, anywhere he does want to be in, he doesn't fit. So anyway, that's the video. A little bit of a rant, no real structure, but at the end of the day, that's what this channel is. Just like a lot of other places. I just talk about basketball. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.